morning, everyone. Welcome to our live webinar of eIMMIGRATION. My name is Vanessa Vargas on behalf of Cerenade. Thank you for joining us today. Can someone please let me know if you can hear me fine? Message me, please, because I'm not sure if my audio is working correctly. Let me double check. I'm connected via phone, just making sure you guys can hear me fine. Let's see. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, someone just messaged me. Well, today we're going to talk about how to maximize your investment and use eIMMIGRATION to its full potential. I mean, now that I think about it, there's always something new to learn. So, I mean, that's why we try to give you these webinars so that you are aware of features and areas of the system that you're probably not aware of yet. And I guess, the topic says maximize your investment. We are recording the training, and we hope that you learned something new today. You can always ask me questions. If you click on the chat, you can message me. We also have a PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to be sharing with you today. If you click on handouts, you can download the PowerPoint. And yeah, so let's begin. I'm going to cover today the basic 3 steps for those that are new. And know that eIMMIGRATION is not just for forms. We're going to show you how to maximize, again, your investment by using the forms and the case and time management aspects too. When you get the information, we're going to talk about entering data via the alternate view and how to customize your own questionnaires so you can also use them as contracts where you can add electronic signatures. Let me see, we have a, Happy Friday. I'm not hearing anything. Okay, let me see what's going on. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm actually switching my audio because I'm receiving messages that they were not able to hear me well, but some people say, I hear you very well, so I'm not sure if someone can tell me if this worked. I switched my audio option from phone to computer. You might probably hear me with an echo. I'm not sure. I am so sorry, but it looks like my headset is not working as usual. Let me see. Can you hear me? No. Testing. All right, so if you can please message me, let me know if you can hear me fine. My GoToWebinar is telling me that my my microphone is working. I'm waiting for someone to please confirm if you can. Okay, let me see. It's working fine. Okay, thank you so much. Then this person's probably having an issue with his audio. Please reconnect again. You guys can hear me fine. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm gonna have to continue. All right, well, for those who can hear me, I was saying that eIMMIGRATION is not just for forms, and I'm going to show you how to maximize your investment by using those features, including how to create your own questionnaires or use those intake forms with electronic signatures, send the passwordless links, etc. Of course, I'm going to talk about forms, and later I'm going to show you how you can organize yourself with our reminders and process steps, how to automate things with activities, what's a tickler. There's a lot to cover today, so just bear with me. And lastly, I'm going to show you what the anonymous questionnaires are, how you can schedule custom reports, and I usually cover a Did You Know section, resources and support options, the upcoming classes, and the Q&A. All right, so I'm going to, let me Hello everyone, the audio by phone was not so good, so I changed to my okay. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, no wonder. I was also connected via phone and it wasn't working. Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So maybe the computer audio works for that person who wasn't able to hear me. I'll wait to receive confirmation. Okay, well, let's continue. Okay. Well, number one, who's new? Because I get clients that are probably new users. If you are a new user, let me know if this is a refresher course. Also vote on your screen. Let's see how many of you are new. Let me close this. Okay, I'm waiting for the rest of the participants to vote. Let's wait. Awesome. So I'm just going to stop this because I got more than 50% of the votes. And so, yep. So the majority of you, again, have used the system. I'm not going to be super detailed in the basic steps because we do offer a basic training for new users. I just wanted to clarify that we do have that available in case you want to take advantage of that. And also we offer private training sessions. So if you are interested in a private training session so that we can go at your own pace, please contact our sales team so they can tell you more information about that, okay? Another thing is, like I said, this is being recorded. So we're going to, have the video available on YouTube later on. Okay, for those that are new or just as a refresher, we have basic 3 steps, which are creating a contact. You want to create the contact and enter the information for that new, it could be prospect or active client. And then once you create the contact, which looks more like this, obviously you want to enter the data as much as you can, right? We'll talk about that in a moment because you can either enter data manually here. I'm going to show you what the alternate view is, or you could also send them a questionnaire, okay? But again, the idea is that you have a centralized area or profile where you store as much information as possible. And this information, of course, populates the forms. So you want to just enter this information once. By the way, I have a client who shared this with me. I didn't know about this, and it was pretty cool to discover it. So I know this might seem silly, but I don't know if this has happened to you, but if you're typing the information and then you forget and you move to a different section, or if you enter information and so let's say I enter here and I go back, I lose that information. So what she recommended to save time is, for example, if I change something and I hit enter on my keyboard, voila, it saved the information. So make sure that you hit the enter, the key on your keyboard. Again, let me do it one more time. If I just hit enter, it's going to save the profile. And that way you avoid losing information in case you forget to click, because I think it's easier. So thank you so much for, I can't see your screen. Oh my God, today's not my, well, no, it is my day because, let me see. What's going on? Oh, I guess okay. Here, thank you so much for sharing and letting me know. Otherwise, I would have continued not knowing. Let me do it really quick. I was just showing on the left top, corner where it says create client contact. I was saying this is where you create the contact for the prospect or active. And when you create the contact profile, I was saying that sometimes when you are entering data and you don't want to lose that information, you're going to type the information and hit enter, and immediately it's going to save the changes. So that was a recommendation. Let me do it one more time. Okay, I hit enter and it's saved. So I highly recommend that you guys use that instead of clicking on the save changes button. So thank you so much for that client who shared that with me. All right, so again, that will be your step 1, creating the contact, entering data. Step 2 is when you link the members. On the right-hand side, you have a menu. And when you go to members, this is where you want to link the children or the spouse or joint sponsor, anyone who's technically linked to your client in any way. Of course, they're not your clients, but you still need to create a contact for them. Don't, this is my suggestion. Don't generate the number because they're not your clients. At least that's how I do it. And then of course I select the relationship and click link, because by the time that I get to the form, their data also populates. So you have a dedicated profile for each entity, okay? Step number 3 is when you create the actual matter or case, and that's where you will see the forms and how they auto-populate. So this is just a contact profile. And then when you click create case, you're going to go through different steps, like the type of case, the matter, who's the attorney, all of that. And let me just open an existing case to give you a better idea. When you create a case, of course, it shows you the process, the case number, you have everything organized. And so I can click on the name of the person, open her contact profile, and at the same time, I can see the case profile, okay? Now, another way for you to capture information instead of just typing data here would be if you use the alternate view. The alternate view has all these questionnaires that we offer by default, like this one. General information for individual clients is one of the standard questionnaires that we offer. And you can use them to ask the client, or for example, here, I open the alternate view and I can see her data, and I can just print it and make, have her confirm and sign. Or today I received a call saying, well, I've got the questionnaire, I approved that, now I need to make changes. But he was going to the questionnaire itself, and no, you can't really edit the questionnaire. You have to go through the alternate view to open the questionnaire again on your end, review the data you have accepted. And for example, let's say the social security number, I'm going to change it here and save it. Let me see if I do hit enter. Oh, it doesn't work on the alternate view, but I'll just talk to the developers to see if that's an easy way. But you see, it's now saved in the server, and I can safely move to a different questionnaire. Now I'm going to ask you for your history of employment or history of addresses. So I can switch to a different template, review the data with my client, make corrections if needed, and then just click save. And that information stays in the system, which eventually auto-populates the forms. Please let me know if you have any questions at this point. Assign new case number in a new matter for same client? Yes. So we recommend that let me show you. This is the same client, Valeria. I go to cases, and I can see the different matters or different processes. Obviously, the type of process or the type of case will be different, but also the case number. This is 52, 51. So that's a suggestion. It's really up to you how you want to customize your case number formatting. That's something you do in the administrator portal. We have our own payment system where we process clients' payments. Is there a way we can connect Cerenade to different? Yes. So we do have billing module and the credit card processing module, and we work with LawPay and PayPal. Okay. So yes, you can connect. How would you be able to have clients check in once they arrive, whether using a tablet or a kiosk? Well, of course, you can use even your cell phone. Just log in, and if someone, in fact, I don't know if you know this, but you can have a link on those tablets. And if I was your receptionist, I don't even have to wait until, no, I don't even have to log in. I can put a link. It's called Anonymous Questionnaire. And I can put a link, which by the way, you can create as many links as needed. For example, just a welcome link or very specific based on the process. So but when you have the link, save that link in that laptop or tablet, as you were saying, a kiosk. And your prospects who arrive can create their own account, and we have different languages, so they can proceed to enter their information and create their own account, so you don't have to do it manually. You could also do that on your website, social media options too. But yeah, if you have clients that are already in the system, of course, you don't want to create duplicates. Then if that's the situation, you would have a receptionist or someone just let me see if I type the last name, Gutierrez, I can either access the case profile or the client profile directly and let the attorney know. But yeah, so you can either do that from your computer, tablet. The system is compatible with any device, any browser, okay? As long as you have internet connection. All right, so let's continue. When I modify that alternate view via here, the client profile, if you click on documents on the left-hand side, you can see those modifications. So it tells me that even though this was created on June 28th of last year, I modify that questionnaire today, and I can open it and see what was the change. So this is the kind of like copy of whatever you did in the alternate view. Okay. Now let me show you how to customize these questionnaires. For example, this intake form. If you go into the administrator portal, how do you get to the administrator portal? If you notice on the right hand side, it says settings, administrative tools. So that's how I actually right click on the word administrative and I open that in a new tab. By the way, if you're trying to take notes while I'm doing this, don't do it. I'm recording the webinar. The video is going to be available. I want you to, as the name says, maximize your time today. Just try to absorb as much as you can. Of course, you will have questions. You can message me right now. You can always contact our team. I'm going to go over the resources and support. And like I said, we have private training sessions where we can go at your own pace. Okay. Having said that, I'm going to continue. And the reason why I'm trying to rush is because we have a lot to cover. And I just want to make sure, again, I maximize my time with you today. But of course, I'm looking at the chat and I see you're sending me questions. For example, can you share the steps and right for using PayPal or for charging clients and have it reflect in Cerenade? You have them already. If you click on the top right corner, see the question mark, it says help, go to the user's guide and simply type PayPal or LawPay or billing, or you can just type here it is, like PayPal processing. You have them, you can print them, but you have step-by-step instruction. I hope that works or helps you. Okay, you're welcome. If you need, of course, if you need help and have questions, contact our team. You can also click here, technical support. I need help with PayPal. Okay, so this is the administrator portal. And how do I create my own questionnaire? Well, if you go to custom form templates, click intake forms. And yes, you can create a custom intake form from scratch, but don't waste your time. Just use what we have and tweak it, delete, add, modify. So if you go to system intake forms, then you can use what we have already. So let's say I like to use this general info questionnaire. I'm going to make a copy of it, but I'm not going to change. I'm not going to call it general info. I'm just going to call it initial intake complete or full questionnaire. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So see, you can customize the, hold on a second, what did I do? Oh, today I'm getting a lot of curveballs. Let's see, system, copy, I'm just gonna laugh. Oh, here we go. I got scared, like it's not loading. All right, here we go. So change the name. Let me do it again. Initial intake or full initial intake form. And on the left, I can add questions, or on the right, I can delete questions. So if, let's say, I don't want to include the fax number, let me just delete. Or I do want to modify the name of the header and change that to like left or large, small. And again, just welcome questionnaire. On the left-hand side, I can do like options and add my logo, number my questions. So you can do, for example, repeated sections. We already have questionnaires in the system that would just focus on the history of addresses or marriage history. Or so in case you want to combine them, you can just click and add them. See, I'm just adding them. But let's say for client children, I don't want to ask every single thing about their children. I don't care for their maiden names. I'm just going to delete those questions, or their title, preferred name. All of that, it's irrelevant to me. I just want to know if it's a daughter, son, stepdaughter, where they were born. I don't care for their cell phone, or like, you can just keep it very, very specific. Again, I don't care for the preferred contact or emergency contact. I do want their social or citizenship. And we have recently added, this is new, we have recently added the address for the children. Where does she live, or if it's abroad? And so now you have that information here for both children and parents. So if I go to templates and say, I need your father and mother's information, I can, again, if I scroll down, I want to ask for the US residence and the abroad residence. And I don't want to ask for the parents' whole thing. I just want to ask for their basic information, right? So you get the idea. I'm just selecting whatever it's important to me, and that's it. So I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. And again, we have the repeated sections for any other members, like joint sponsor or spouse. Well, technically, I already added that. Affiliations, arrest history. So now you have a complete or full initial intake form with your logo. And if you want to add a signature at the bottom, or I want to ask for them to upload their evidence, I can do document upload. And I want to ask for like all their documents in one area where they can drag and drop, or one at a time. Again, it's really, really up to you. Maybe you can say something like refer to the documents checklist provided, so they see what exactly they need to upload. What else I was going to show you? You can also add custom fields. Like, I like using this example. I clicked on yes or no question. Obviously, it's going to add it all the way at the bottom, but you can change this and move it to any position. I'm going to pick number 1. And my question would be, is this the first time that you contact us? And if they say yes, this is the first time that I contact you, great. Well, how, my follow-up question would be, how did you hear about the law firm or this organization? Or so that way you can use the system as a CRM and track your leads and all marketing information. If they say no, this is not the first time that I contact you, okay, great. But then what's your case number or client number? And if you say that, because I picked number 1, it's going to move that all the way up. Okay. Next will be mapping, which means I'm connecting the field to the actual system. Where in the system am I going to store that information? Well, this was a custom field that I created. So I pick client custom field, and the question is going to be, is this the first time that you're here? Or how did you hear about us? Will be the source of the lead. And if they say no, well, then what's your case number? So you create custom fields if you want, so that you can capture the data and store that and obviously use that information. You can also make these required. So if I want them to answer these questions no matter what, I can make them required. And finally, the translations. Oh, this hasn't been fixed. Oh, God. Okay. Well, I reported this bug to our team, and it's related to the translation AI feature, because I think I have way too many options here. Let me just see if I can close them. No, it's going to say, please wait. Okay, but never mind. I wanted to show you. Let me go back and show you another one. So if I go to translation, you're going to enable the translation and pick whatever languages you want. And then you're going to, for example, French, you're going to see needs review. You click review, and then you see how the translation worked, and you just submit. So that's pretty much it. And last step will be to save it. All right, let me know if you have questions on how to create a questionnaire. You can use those intake forms, like I said, to provide a contract, technically, with electronic signature. Okay. How do I send those? Like, okay, now I have the questionnaire. What do I do? Well, I go to the contact profile, and I make sure that she has an email or a cell phone so I can provide the link, and I create the questionnaire. Create questionnaire and send it to Valeria. Or if she's not tech savvy, we'll print it. Or what else? The other, like put the link on my website, share this with, I don't know, like via bulk email. So you have a lot of options depending on how your client works. If you want to send the client access to the client portal, you can enable, create that, and send the questionnaire, or you can just send them a link that doesn't require a password. This passwordless link. You can choose the preferred language. You can choose the matter or process, or you can also say no process, and it gives you all questionnaires. So you're going to select the questionnaire. You're going to click save, and then notify your client via text message, via email. You can copy the link and paste it on WhatsApp or whatever you want to use to message them. If you send them a text message, you can hide your name. Just make sure you don't mess with the URL. For security reasons, they'll get the code to confirm their identity and proceed to the questionnaire. Or you can also send them an email. And if you do that, make sure you copy paste this link into your template like this. And you could also set up a reminder. So maybe send them a reminder once a day via email and stop sending that after a week and close it. So now she has access to the questionnaire. That's a passwordless intake form. Okay, let's talk about forms. Assuming that, well, hold on, before I go over there, let me see if you guys have any questions at this point. Let me know if the basic 3 steps were clear to you. Thanks. Thank you for voting. So, well, I was waiting for the rest of the participants to vote, but I think it's because they're multitasking. So I'll just close this poll. So the majority of you say yes, thank you. Okay. For those that say no, I'll stick around after the end. And if you have questions, I can explain those again. Don't worry about it. Okay, so when you send the questionnaire and your client receives a questionnaire, I'm going to quickly log in as a client. Here's a questionnaire. So she sees the data and she makes corrections. So it turns out that the last name was Gomez. And they send it back to you. So now you have a questionnaire you need to review. By the way, we're going to email you when there's a new questionnaire. So when you go in your caseworker portal, if you click on the top right corner, you've got your mailbox, and we tell you the name of the client, the questionnaire, the date. So you just have to open, review. In fact, we highlight the changes. If you click, you're going to see that right here. So just so it's clear, when it says original value, it means what's in the system right now, because you haven't made a decision yet. You haven't you can overwrite this, you can cancel, you can delete. But right now in the system, we have this value. If I click accept, then I am overriding that information with the new value. Okay, I want you to understand that, because that way, when you get a questionnaire, then you know what that means. Now that we have the questionnaire ready and the data has been updated, let me refresh the screen so you see it says Gomez now. Okay, now when we create the case and we work with the forms, we can see that the data auto-populates. By the way, if you ever open a form and the data doesn't populate, it's most likely because you picked a different role. Like this one says petitioner. On page 5, it says alien. So it happens when you say it's a beneficiary. Well, in this situation, you just click select and transfer or replace the beneficiary. If it says beneficiary, just click on the name of the person. That's it. So if you want to overwrite a field, let's say for Valeria, I want to overwrite the address. So I can modify this information. See, I'm just modifying. Maybe I want to put my PO box number for the law firm, but I don't want to mix. I want to overwrite the actual mailing address for the client. So you can overwrite a form on a case-by-case basis. Of course, this stays here only. Or let's say the date of birth is incorrect. I can switch to the profile. In fact, I'm going to enter my date of birth because I turned 40 this Sunday. It's a double celebration for Mother's Day. So let's save that. And then I go back to the form. And how do I update the form? So if I go to the select party button, the red one, if you click select, replace, and click on the name of the person, in this case, the petitioner. So basically, we're replacing the old with the new data, right? So now when you look at the date of birth, it's correct, okay? So that way you don't have to retype that information over and over again. That's the reason why I have two tabs open at the same time. So tools that you can use, these sticky notes or post-its that you can delete or simply hide when printing. You could also type anywhere. If you click on this keyboard, you can move your mouse and really type anywhere. You could also type information and reduce the size of the font. And if you want to, okay, and if you exceed the limit, we create the addendum for you. And if you want to calculate the values here, just go to edit. Then you select here, I want to transfer this information, I don't want to transfer this or this, and then click save, and the system auto-populates the information with the correct numbers. Just click save before you move to a different page. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so another feature that will save you so much time if you're not aware of it, it's if you go into your admin, it's called form default. I always get confused if it's default or default. But anyway, so you're gonna click add, type the number, and select the form. By the way, we still show you the old version, but we have the new versions available here. When you open the form from the form defaults, it's going to customize the values, meaning every time that I open the N400, I want these questions to be automatically selected. I'm trying to find, this is a new version, of course, it doesn't have the gazillion number of addendums. Let me see, the additional pages. It was usually like page 13, but because, okay, like this, you know, have you ever, so my point is, instead of marking these questions manually, you can just customize it by default, so that, and most of your clients are going to say no to these anyway, so you just select, click save, and that way your form would have the correct information, and you can change them if applicable, but that's going to save you so much time. So that's a form default. Please let me know if you have any questions at this point. I'm going to show you the reminders feature. But again, let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Please vote. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue because based on the survey and those questions are gonna be asked. So someone's raising a hand. Can you please chat me the question? Because I can't unmute you. But yeah, so I'm gonna continue because that's what the majority of you said. And if you have questions, just message me so I can help you. All right, so how do I create a reminder? By the way, I would like to show you a couple of enhancements that you probably have seen already or will see once they are fully available. And so one of them is regarding the reminders. And so if I go to the reminder section and I click add a reminder, this can be customized, by the way. If you go into the administrator portal, let me quickly do it. In the administrator portal, we have a section called types. You can customize the types of reminders. So when you create a reminder, you can be super specific. I have a court date, I have a deadline, or draft the declaration, blah, blah, blah. So, well, let's say that we have to prepare the client for their interview, and we need to do that in 2 weeks. But I want the system to send an email or text message or both, right? And I want to send that email a day before at 8 a.m. Who is responsible? Who's going to get the email? So let's say me. I'm going to CC on the right-hand side. I'm going to CC the client. So Valeria and maybe her husband, or like you can just choose the recipient. And now we have the message template. We didn't have this before. So now you can pick, hey, I have a template. So I don't have to retype this information over and over again. Just giving you an idea, like loading this one, or I don't think I have one for like prepare interview reminder, but just to show you like, the name or the date and the logo and everything populates. And so I don't have to retype this reminder template or email every single time. So that was pretty cool. And those reminders are kept in our tickler report. But before I go there, I want to show you how you can keep track of your staff's productivity by using our process steps. And what are those? Each case has a timeline. We call them process steps. So if you clicked here to modify the process steps, you can see the process steps or tasks, I guess. I also call this like the to-do list. So if I was your assistant or your paralegal, this is my cheat sheet. I know exactly what I need to do, and you're guiding your staff because now they know what's, the next step. And not only you have to give them like a start date, so the system auto-populates their deadline or target date, but you may also like delegate who's going to do what. And so as long as you select the caseworker, for example, I want to say that Araceli has 1 day after we start, and she has to create the invoice and mail it to the client. But if she doesn't do that on the 14th, then the system is going to send her an actual email. So these target dates auto-populate in that tickler report as well. I'll show you in a moment. If we are done with any of these steps and we click completed, then of course it's going to take us to the next step and so forth. Okay, so whenever you have a target date and you have a reminder, or it also tracks the expiration dates for documents. So if I go to her contact profile and I know that we have an RFE, or I've got the passport and this is the expiration date, like I can track that information in the tickler as well. So let's see, if you go to tools, click tickler, you can customize this layout and the graphs and timeframes. So I'm going to use the default layout. So I can see my own data, or I can show the data for all my case workers. And it shows like process steps, again, those tasks that we have in the next 21 and 90 days. It looks like we have to do this, or in the next 5 days, we have to do these, okay? And on the left, we see case reminders or client reminders at the bottom. And you just have to click on the link and it shows you, okay, this is what we need to do, right? This is a person who's responsible and he has to call the client for follow-up. Or like this one that I just, or no, actually this is due on the 17th for a consultation. And this is the person that's responsible. So let's close this. We have an enhancement for kudos to our developers who listen to the clients. If you have any feedback or suggestions, you can always send them through here. So one of them is being able to modify my process steps
So let's say, hey, I already know that we're not gonna do these two steps this week. I'm gonna select them and I'm gonna change the dates and change the new date to next week, both of them, or even like 2 weeks from today. And so now I can apply the target date to the process steps at once. So I love that enhancement. It was a suggestion from one of our clients. I forgot to mention this, but your process steps also have a feature that can help you automate things. So let's say that when it's time for me to send the questionnaire, let's say we have to send the questionnaire on the 13th. And so my target date is on the 15th. Okay. Well, instead of me sending the questionnaire manually, I'm going to add an activity. And the activity is going to say, actually, look, I already had activities scheduled by default, but like this one says when the process step starts, which I already did, then the system sent the question already. And let's see this one, 2 days after the target date, then the system's going to send a text message reminder for the questionnaire. So again, you can add actions or activities by default or on a case-by-case basis, so the system can do that. Let me do one more. I gather documents from clients. So I'm going to say add an activity. I want the system to send a questionnaire. Maybe as soon as I hit start, and the questionnaire is going to be that document gathering link, so they can just click and upload. So you can schedule that activity and let the system perform the action on your behalf. Now, if you're taking notes, well, that's great. But just so you know, you can download my PowerPoint presentation where you can just click on these links and learn more, because we have videos and articles about these. Okay. All right, so going back to the tickler, which was that general dashboard, please let me know if you have any questions. If you want to customize the tickler, just go to the top right corner where it says settings, user preferences. And this is where you can modify your tickler settings and layout. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I like having the tickler as my landing page. See, when I log in, that's the first thing that I see. And the way I see it is like, this is my helicopter view where I see, hey, what's going on? How do I prioritize and, delegate? And so if you want to do that too, go to your user preferences and it's right here, default start page. That way, or maybe you prefer to see the calendar right away, or the, I don't know, home screen, or, messaging. So you have those options too. Let me see my notes. Oh, yeah. There is a section in the system that I really, really like. It's called Client Overview. It's a green button. And if you click there, you see exactly what you want to see. Instead of, see, for example, if I close it, this is a general info page. It has a lot of data that I probably don't need, like the major field of study, I don't know. But if I customize my client overview, maybe out of all those fields from the general info section, these are the only ones that I care about, and her picture. Or out of the logs or the reminders or like cases, so I can customize all of these sections based on the way I work. Because sometimes, for example, hey, you know what? I'm the accounting, accountant, or like I'm in the, I don't know, the front desk, and I don't really care for invoices. Like, so you guys can customize it on a case worker basis. You just go here, again, user preferences, client overview, and you can modify it. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Next is letter templates. I briefly mentioned this, but just really quick, if you go to your administrator portal and click letter templates, this is where you can add your letter template. And to show you an example, let me open this one where I have my logo, and you can use these tags and let the system work for you. I'm surprised to hear people are still using like Excel spreadsheets manually, and I get it, but it should be the other way around. You want to use the data that's captured from the questionnaires and and then let the system generate your Excel reports. But anyways, so the information that you have captured can also auto-populate templates, cover letters, agreements, contracts, anything, or like you saw, a quick email reminder. Instead of me typing that information over and over again, I can just create the template here. So that's the letter template feature. If you're taking notes, again, just write down letter template so you can look up the article or video in our user's guide. And another feature I want to recommend that you, if you're taking notes, write down tag helper. And that's where you can find all the tags that we have, including your custom fields. Next is, how do I prepare a package? If I don't necessarily want to file online, which we do have e-filing, well, let's say that I have all the forms ready, and I go to documents, I have the letter templates and the evidence, everything's ready. So now I click Document Assembly, and I create the package. And the way it works, you select the forms and move them into the area here, or the evidence and the letters. You just select here and then select in the middle to move them. And you can just drag and drop them. And it creates a table of contents where all the page numbers update accordingly and automatically. So this is going to save you so much time, because then you can download the package with the footer caption and the numbering, or you can email it to, as a PDF. So it's up to you. And if you send that package, let's say via FedEx, via UPS or USPS, you also have at the case profile level section called shipments. So I can add the shipment, let's say again through FedEx. This is a tracking number. I don't know, I'll just say that we sent this to the USCIS center, and then I sent that last week. So now I can click on the tracking number, and it will give me information about that tracking. Obviously, this is not a real tracking link. All right, so that's the shipment feature. How do you use custom fields? The custom fields are created also in the administrator portal. So custom fields are additional spaces, I guess, in the system where you can ask additional questions. Remember earlier I was saying, like, is this the first time you're here? Are you a new client? Or, you know, this is another one. What's your full name in native alphabet? So you can create as many custom fields, and the type of field could be text, number, date, Boolean. I'm reading a question right now. It says, is there a way to add the tracking information to more than one case, like bulk add? Oh, that's a great idea. You know what? No, we don't have that at this point, but I'll pass your feedback to our team. Or do me a favor, if you don't mind, that way they know that it came from you. Just go to feedback and then something you like or dislike, and let them know, because this goes directly to our developers. Let them know that you would like a bulk add for tracking information that it applies to more than one case. Great idea. But again, I'll just mention it in our next weekly meeting. That's the thing about Cerenade, if I may say. We do listen to you guys. So when you have new ideas or features that can improve the system, we try to add those to the developers' longest to-do list. But as you saw, we do have feature enhancements. One of them, for example, was that if I was a client and I go into the client portal, if you haven't shared the status with me yet, it says unknown. But that could cause confusion with them. Like, what do you mean unknown? Well, to hide the column, if you don't want to show it, what you can do now is, if you go into your administrator portal and scroll down to application settings, now you can hide that column by selecting under case settings, the option here, hide case process step status in client portal. So if I select that and save, let me refresh the client portal. Now the status column is gone. So those were, again, based on clients' feedback, and we appreciate those little things, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's using the system and you know. All right, so next item, I actually have already explained this, but let me briefly go over that really quick. And it's the anonymous questionnaire. You just click create questionnaire and choose anonymous questionnaire. And this is where you can add that anonymous questionnaire link based on, maybe you want it to be for prospects or active clients. That's the link that you can put on your website too. And finally, the last item on my list is the option to schedule custom reports. You do have to have custom reports in your package. It's an optional module. So if you go into your administrator portal and go under reports, you can customize any report, but again, why start from zero when you can just make a copy? So if I say, you know what, I like this report that shows, well, let's say this one, context by date of creation. Well, yes, I'm going to make a copy, but I don't want to call it context by date of creation. I'm just going to say new lead from Facebook. And I'm going to save my report, and I'm just going to make modifications. Now it's not standard, but custom. So I get to edit, and I'm going to tweak those criteria details. So yes, I want to show when the client is individual, not a business client. And I want to make sure that the status is equal to prospect, and that the creation date is this week. I think I put, well, I'll just put weekly report. And I want to make sure that this client, or prospect, when they sign the questionnaire, I'm asking for, I think it's under custom fields right here. And one of them is the source. So let's go over that. Oh, I skipped that. Oops. Source lead. Okay, I'm just going to use that. And then put equal to, let's say source one is Facebook. Okay. So anytime that they say, I found your website, your law firm via your Facebook page or ad, well, now I want to create this report. And of course, I don't have any because I'm using this. Let me see if I can use the one I have for source. I was going too fast. Okay, I know that starts with or equal to contains. I'll just use this one, Facebook. All right, let me see if this one works. Maybe not this week, but this year. No, okay, never mind, but you get the idea. So if you want to create the report and schedule it, your criteria has to be defined. It can be like this one where it says and then you get to choose. If you want to schedule a report, make sure that you define the criteria like I did, and then I'm going to save it. And now I get to schedule the report. So I go to schedule reports, add, I'm going to pick that report here. So let's say that I want to see all prospects report, send that as Excel starting next Monday until the year 2027, and send that on a weekly basis or daily, or you choose who's going to get the report. Anyone can get the report, doesn't have to be a user. So this is going to save you also time and money. And then of course send or schedule that report to be sent to your team automatically. So I highly recommend our custom reports module. Always contact our team if you have any questions about that. And let me see what's next. Okay, did you know? So we do have a couple of features that I just want to share with you or remind you that we have them, such as the ability to request documents via passwordless link. Obviously, the e-filing module that also allows you to import data from the CBP website. So you have many features that you're probably not using. And so, especially if you're in Plan C, take advantage of the subscription and use it. I always say one step at a time, divide and conquer. Just, tell your staff, okay, you're going to learn billing, I'm going to learn e-filing, and then teach each other. Or attend these trainings for free and ask questions. And speaking of questions, yes, you'll have questions. Call us. You can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays. You can email us 24/7. You can click on the home screen option where it says technical support. And like I said, send your feedback to our developers. Use the guide, the user's guide. Attend these trainings for free on Fridays, except on holidays. We have a podcast. We have a Facebook forum page. So again, there's a lot of ways to connect. And please, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Here's a link. It's called Cerenade Academy. So we count on that. And that way you can get the information when there's a new feature. So these are the questions that you sent prior. One of them was, I'd like to know more about reports and Tickler. So we do have access to standard reports, but we also recommend, like I said, our optional module for custom reports. And you can schedule them, as you saw, via email. And the Tickler is the general dashboard, so you can visually manage at once all your reminders, process steps, expiration dates, and more. And this can be customized per case worker. Here's a link so that you learn more. Do you have a library for trainings or videos? Yes, we do. It's a user's guide, but again, we have a YouTube channel, and we suggest that you subscribe. How can I create and send agreements for e-signature? As I explained earlier, we have an admin portal where you can create your own custom intake forms, and you just simply add the option for signature. Make sure that the last thing you add is a signature. Next, how can I schedule an automatic email or SMS to be sent to clients on a case-by-case basis? So we recommend using the activities feature, as I said, under the case process steps, but you may also use reminders from both contact and case profiles to send automatic emails or text messages. Now you know you can use the templates. Alrighty, if you have any questions, message me right now so I can help you. These are the upcoming trainings for May, and we have these for June. We won't have one on June 14th due to AILA, the national conference. And that's it for today. I really hope you learned something new and that you please connect with us. Thank you so much for attending today's training. I can't believe I finished on time, even though we had issues with the audio. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend too. My pleasure. Thank you so much for your feedback. And for those that mentioned you had questions, I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes. Luckily, I don't have a meeting right after this one. So if you have any questions, like my mom says, take advantage of me. I'm on aprovechame que estoy de oferta, diría. So let me know if your questions were addressed. Click on the screen before you leave. Thank you so much and have a great weekend. Yes, I agree. The video is, so we recorded today's session. It's going to be available on YouTube. You can watch the video, pause it, and again, practice, and of course, contact us if you have questions. All right, let me close this poll in progress, and thank you for sharing this with me. And there's a question that says, what's the advantage to assign a new case number? Well, number one, the way I see it, you want to be organized. How do you customize a case number? It's not just a case, but if you go to the application settings in admin, scroll down to where it says case settings, your formatting can be customized so that you see the name, last name, type of process, and of course the actual case number. The benefit of doing it this way is because I can say, hey, what's case number, I don't know, 52, and it's easier to find that. Anything that has a 52 in it, it will be included. But again, that's just my preference. Yes, you would have a client number. So each client has like an actual client number, which you can also search by. But this person may have different cases or matters. So like I said, if I go to cases and I see how many cases I have created for Valeria, I can see not only the case number, the type of process, the status, who's really, in this case, the alien, beneficiaries, the petitioners, joint sponsor, derivative, you have everything organized. So that's the reason why we recommend you assign a case number. In petitioner beneficiary cases, who to send the questionnaires first? Okay. If you have a petitioner beneficiary like this one, my recommendation is who's going to be the person who you think is going to do the work. And most of the time is a beneficiary. But it varies. So it really, I can't tell you, send it to the wife first or the petitioner or the beneficiary. It's really up to you and how you work with your clients, as long as they do the homework. I always joke and say, I can show you how the system works, but not with compliance from either your team or your clients. So as long as they enter the data, what I do recommend though, is that you send it to one of them first, because we have a questionnaire called relatives. So let's say the petitioner receives a bunch of questionnaires, and one of them for the relatives, she enters the husband's information. Well, after I get that basic data for the children and the beneficiary and everything, then I can proceed to send him his own questionnaires for his employment history, education history. So that's what I would do. But again, there's no recommendation on like send it to this person first. It's really up to you. Any other questions? You're very welcome. Another tip I want to give you before you disconnect is whoever you send it to, no matter what, you can always click on documents. On the left, you're going to go to questionnaires and forms, and you can see what they've done. So if you see like, hey, you know what, I sent it to the petitioner, but she's not responding, she's not doing the work, so I might as well just send it to the beneficiary. And hold on, it's actually taking longer to load because I've done this for 11 years. So yeah, I have a lot of questionnaires. See, for example, this one I sent on the 3rd. She hasn't sent the questionnaire back. So I can see, if I click select edit, I can see if there's anything that she entered already. For example, here it looks like she has Marie, but in the system I have all caps. Or she put Gonzalez, but in the system I currently have Gomez, which means that maybe I don't want to wait until she sends it back to me. I want to take over. So you can do that. You can select, submit on behalf of client, and accept it. That way you don't wait until they send it to you. If you already see data, they probably forgot to send it back to you. Now you have, well, you always have the control, like delete, accept. And then in this case, I'm submitting on behalf of them. So now that questionnaire, hold on, because it's loading slowly but surely. So this intake form that I just accepted, now it shows that I created on the 3rd, and I just need to, let me refresh the screen. Let me do one more time. So now that questionnaire is in my possession and the data has overwrote. So I don't have to do anything and maybe send new questionnaires. Or if you need to make changes, like I said earlier, then go to the alternate view, open that questionnaire, and it will be, that's interesting because the accepted on date should be there. If it says, oh, let me see. Okay, it looks like you need to, oh, this is new because we had submit and accept right away. Now it looks like you, unless this is a bug, but I can always check with my team. But this is where you would accept that questionnaire now that you submitted on behalf of them. Let me just unlink these again. And once you have the data, then like I said, the data is updated in the system. All right, so let me know if you have any other questions before you disconnect. If you have to go, thank you again on behalf of Cerenade. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com, search Cerenade Academy, and help us reach to 2,000 this year, or maybe sooner than that. All right, thank you everyone. Have a good weekend and happy Mother's Day.